Guten Tagen, once again, I am MaxSmartable, and it's become it's been a cloudy day here in Rivertown, where I go to school. We didn't move, I'm just here because, subject selections and all that. And really, basically, I'm just here at Mum's workplace until I actually get to go there at 6 o'clock. And it's about, 3:34 already, according to the... Yeah, it does say that on the clock. So I'm just here to record a few things until I get there. So, this is part 16. Yeah, my last part was rather errorist in that regard. I thought I had to minus instead of just, add Untitled 5. Just minus 19 from 5, so, yeah, don't fault me on that, very please. Remember, the previous 5 before that, yes, we start with Untitled 0, were all test videos which I do not want to be released, partially because one of them is rather long. Twice the video limit, actually. Yeah, I learned that you could actually get to 15 minutes one time when I tried to get my first named video up. Well, record my first named video. Anyway, we're getting off track here. Let's get to part 16 of Mismagius Mischief. James wasn't having a good day either. Much like Brock, it was his wedding day. James didn't want to get married, especially not to Jezebel, who looked exactly like Jessie, except she was rich and, as impossible as that seemed, even eviler and nastier. However, he didn't really have a choice. He had somehow been abducted and brought back to his childhood home, and was now being forced to go through with the wedding ceremony. To make sure he couldn't run off, his fans had also bound and gagged him, so he couldn't move an inch from where he stood next to Jezebel before the altar. His father also had a shotgun pointed at the backs of James' knees, just to persuade any thoughts James might have had for not going through with the marriage when the time came. James personally thought it was a little much, but clearly his father felt otherwise. "Really, beloved," rasped the Archbishop of Canto, whom his parents had managed to get to perform the wedding so that it would be legally binding and completely unbreakable by anything short of one spouse dropping dead. James had no illusions about which of them would be the first to die. "We are gathered here today to unite these two young people, James Morgan and Jezebel Jezebella," that name must be embarrassing, "in holy matrimony. If anyone objects to this marriage, speak now or forever hold your peace." Nobody said anything. That was probably because James, Jezebel, James' parents, and Jezebel's viol plume were the only people there in the garden attending the ceremony. James's Pokemon had all been locked up, along with his old friend Growly, to keep from interfering. James started wriggling frantically, trying desperately to indicate to the Archbishop that he really, honestly, did not want to get married, but then he heard his father undoing the safety of his shotgun and quickly stood still. "Isn't this wonderful, Jimmy?" I have no idea how to do a southern accent. Jezebel whispered to James in her southern accent, "Soon you and I will be married. Won't that be fun?" According to the SM dungeon, Jezebel had transformed the mansion's basement into James Petroff's son. James Petroff's son, and would be anything but fun. If there are no objections, then I see no reason these two cannot be wed. Jezebella, do you take James Morgan to be your lawfully wedded husband?" "I do indeed." I have no idea. She said happily. "And do you, James Morgan, take Jezebella to be your lawfully wedded bride?" The Archbishop waited a moment. James said, and did, nothing. Because he was bound and gagged and had a shotgun pointed at his knees. His father prodded him with the aforementioned gun, and he nodded frantically, sweat rolling down his skin. "Very well, I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride." Isabel squealed with delight and turned to James, puckering him. James's eyes widened in horror, and inside he screamed and screamed and screamed, and suddenly his bonds broke, and his clothes shredded off, and much to his and everyone else's surprise, He was a blue-haired cacturn. We'll get to that later. Isabel screamed and stumbled back, her lips bleeding from when they had gotten pricked by James's new cacturns. Well, I never. Oh my, said the surprised James's mother. What's all this then? My son has become a cacturn, James's father cried. He shrugged and holstered his shotgun. Oh well, guess the wedding's up then. What? Jessie Bell shrieked as the vile plume cried out in alarm. What do you mean it's off? My son is a cacturn, James's father explained. There's no way he can possibly marry you if he's a cacturn. Yes, it doesn't make any sense, James's mother agreed. Completely preposterous! But, Jezebel protested. It's against the law too, the Archbishop agreed, clapping his hands. Very well then, I declare this marriage... Very well. Against the law too, the Archbishop agreed, clasping his hands. Very well then, I declare this marriage invalid. James is a free man, or cacturn, as it were. Woohoo! Even though I'm a cacturn, James cheered. No! Screamed Jezebel, running off in tears. Vile Plume looked around in confusion, shrugged, then ran after her. James, since you're a cacturn and no longer getting married, I suppose we can release your Pokemon. And here they are! James's father said. James's Pokemon appeared out of nowhere and, well, pretty much attacked him. Victory Bell swallowed him from the waist down. Acmea hugged him and dug her thorns into his skin. Chimecho wrapped his tail around his eyes so he couldn't see anything, and Carnivine bit his head. Mime Jr. stared at him for a moment, and wisely decided to keep him at a safe distance. James said, his voice muffled due to his head being stuck inside Carnivine's mouth. It looks like your Pokemon like you quite a lot. I see no reason to it looks like your Pokemon like you quite a lot. I see no reason not to mass marry you all right on the spot. I hereby declare you cacturn and large group of Pokemon, the Archbishop said joyfully. I am not doing a good joyful voice. James's mother blinked. Wait, are you allowed to do that? I'm the Archbishop. I can do whatever the hell I want. Or whatever 7734 I want, the priest said, puffing on a clove cigar. I'm married? Yay? Said a confused James. Yay! His Pokemon cheered ecstatically. I'm not good at ecstatically. Oh look, and here comes your wheezing back from Hoenn, James's father said, pointing to a large and rather morose-looking two-headed grotesque purple floating ball of gas. Wheezing groaned, sounding like it was going to drop dead at any moment. James gasped with delight. Wheezing! You've come back to me! Come give us a hug! He rushed towards his old friend and wrapped his arms around the big, purple, vaguely spherical thing in a hug, puncturing Wheezing's sides with the many thorns themselves and causing Wheezing to deflate rather rapidly. Wheezing! Wheezing wailed as he arced into the air, gases leaking from the many holes in his eyes to propel him up in the waves. Body quickly losing its spherical shape and starting to look more and more like an empty hacky sack. Wheezing! Oh no! James cried in horror. Well, looks like he's blasting off again. You know that only makes sense in English dub. In the original, what Team Rocket kept on saying was, "This feels bad!" Duh. Anyway, James's father said pleasantly. Oh look, here's your even older friend, Growly! James's mother said as Growly the Arcanine came bounding happily towards James, barking and trailing embers with every step and leap. Growly! James cried happily, momentarily forgetting about Wheezing and hopping towards his shouted friend. He would have ran, but Victory Bell had swallowed his leg. Come and give us a hug! Dear, aren't grass types weak against fire types? James's mother asked his father. James's father thought about that for a moment. You know, I do believe you're right. That seems to be enough for now. Thank you. Good morning. Oh yeah, I'm at Mom's workplace. Morning!